What up? What up? What up? What up, fellas? Welcome to another day, another beautiful day, a beautiful Sunday. This is the day that the Lord have made. And I will rejoice and be glad in it. Welcome to another day of Memoir Men. This is our fourth day of our 15-day challenge, our 15-day live challenge. We are live, and I am excited. I am thrilled. I am stoked about being able to come and just vibe with you, chop it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Talk about some men's stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need that. We always grinding, working. We need some time to kind of sit back sometimes and just relax. Sometimes we need to reflect on our progress thus far, right? We're always looking forward to the next thing, looking forward to the next opportunity, looking forward to the next check, the next business venture. There's always this looking forward. Like, sometimes we just need to sit back and just thank you. Just thank you. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day. Thank you that I can breathe. Thank you, I have a place to rest. Thank you, I have a place to just bask and enjoy the day. Today was a beautiful day weather-wise. Well, until it started raining. Well, that's if you in Florida, because we just got done watching the Eagles game. And yeah, I don't know how them cats doing it up there in the snow. And of course, we know what's going on in California and the LA region. It's a lot going on. So my heart goes to all of y'all in the cold or in the heat over there. But I'm thankful that in Florida, even though it wasn't sunny Florida today, it was a good day. And when we have those days, when we're not in those extremes, right? We always feel like we're in those extremes, right? And I'm not just talking about weather now. I'm just talking about in life general. We're in intense heat, or things are not moving, and we feel like things are just cold. We're always someplace, and even when things are not in the extreme, because we're always having that look forward mindset mentality, we're never settled. We need to be able to just sometimes just be content. Be content, right? Paul talks about being content, whether he's a base and abound, and we just look at the two extremes, but we're really not always in one extreme, abasing or abounding. Sometimes we're just somewhere in the middle, and it's okay. It's okay to just breathe. And so that's what I've been doing this weekend. That's what I've been doing this weekend. I welcome y'all to Memoir Men. Memoir Men is a place where men come, a nice, safe platform, a safe space to be able to chop it up on things, all things men. And when we say all things men, we just recognize that there is a mantle of leadership that we have. You know, not negating anybody, not putting down anybody else. We're simply acknowledging that there is a place where men have to lead, and a lot of us have a hard time doing so because of a myriad of reasons, and all of our reasons are different. But a lot of the times we don't, and we've explained this in the other days where we talk, we don't, for the most part, go to a place where we can hash those things out. Usually we try to grind those things out in the solitude of the confines of our own mind, right? And we weren't meant for that. We weren't meant for that. We talked about it the other day. Adam was alone in the garden by himself. God looked at him and was like, nah, it's not cool for you to be alone like this by yourself. I'm going to send you somebody suitable, somebody just like you, somebody to support you in the things that I have you doing. We all need support. We are communal beings. We're made for community. We're made for community. All right. And so this is a community of men, Memoir Men, where we ponder on the things that we go through in life, our experiences, our past, current circumstances, and we reflect on those things. And then we do some introspective work. Why do we think the way we think while we're navigating this situation? What do we feel? Right? What do we feel? Not too many times do we spend times on what we feeling. We just feel, right? When we get angry, we just get angry. And we don't even consider, why is it that I'm angry right now? What is this really the situation that's making me angry? Is this the person that's really upsetting me? Or is there some underlying thing that I haven't dealt with that's causing, is it me or is it you? Who is it? And so here in Memoir Men, we take the time to hash those things out. We do it in conversation. We do it on one talks. We do it in panel discussions. We're doing it a lot of different ways. The reason why I'm here tonight, for those who are just tuning in for the first time, is my wife and I, back in November, we went to Darius Daniels Church, and they had a special conference. And we were challenged by one of the sessions to do some consistent lives. So I chose to do 15 days straight. Well, got some gaps in between, but overall 15 days of live streams. Today is day 4. Yes. And we doing it, and we doing it, and we doing it. And we've had some good conversations. Well, really, it's just me, really, the talking head. So it's not much of a back and forth. But I would love to turn this into a conversation. Those of you guys who connect with us through YouTube, I would love to hear your comments, right? Where are you as far as the conversation? What would you like us to converse about? Where are you when it comes to your community of men? Right? Do you have a church family that you vibe with that gives you that support? Do you have some brothers that you ride with? Like, where do you get that? And if you don't get that, express that, share that. I would love for this platform to be a place where you can get a little bit of that. We don't not are not just doing this live. We are going to, after we do the live challenge, we're going to launch into a platform format, and also there is time where we'll meet live, and obviously virtually, right? So it won't be on, live broadcast to everyone, but it will be more like a Zoom call where we just spend some time chopping it up, getting into some conversations that relate to us. So that community can definitely be your community. I would love for you to get involved with that. More details on that as we move forward. Today is going to be brief. I want to make sure that I don't go too long in our conversation today. It's really not brief, but it's kind of like a part 2 of what we talked about yesterday. Yesterday, our conversation was, our terms were, delete, complete, and then compete. Hallelujah. I'm feeling it today, y'all. I don't know. Our church just got through a fast, and we just ended today. So I'm all energized up, ready to go. So, you might have to forgive me for a little, the charismatic might come out a little bit. Hondo. So yesterday we talked about delete. First of all, if you want to move forward, and if you want to progress, and again, that's what Memoir Men is all about. This reflection and introspective work is done for the sake of progress, right? For the sake of moving forward into the things that God called us to do, and being able to do it successfully, being able to do it effectively and efficiently. So what does that look like? First of all, we got to be able to delete certain things, right? We talked about that. And it's so awesome. My pastor, overseer town, so he actually preached about this today, moving forward, right? Moving forward in the things that God has for us, and in order to do that, sometimes you got to let some things go. It was perfect. It was definitely in alignment with what we talked about last night when we talked about deleting, right? Deleting some relationships that will no longer help you and benefit you in the places that you are going to go. Deleting habits, right? Deleting habits, I think, is the biggest one, really, right? Whether it be eating habits, whether it be procrastination, whether it would be your diet, right? Well, eating habits, obviously, there's a little bit of what they call that, uh, Freudian slip. Is that what they call it? When you subconsciously always thinking about something and it comes out. So obviously, eating is mine, right? So there you go, for being vulnerable, right? But I do believe, like, for me personally, if that is something that I tackle on and I deal with, that I will skyrocket. I will skyrocket in 2025. You know what I'm saying? Because not only will I'll have more energy to do the things that I need to do, the confidence level will definitely increase. Having the energy, having the confidence, just those two things alone is enough to, man, I'll be unstoppable. And I'm looking forward to that in this year. 2025 is a year of completion. We talked about that yesterday. So deleting some certain things that we don't need to hold on to. And then the next thing was complete, right? And then compete. Compete, we talked about, was related to competence, meaning the more that you understand something, the more that you're skilled in an area, the more you'll be able to be a leader in that space. The more you'll be able to be I don't want to use the word guru, but you're definitely someone that people can go to in that space if you are competent, right? And your competence allows you to compete in any arena where other people are there. You're able to thrive because you have a level of competence in that area or arena, whether it's business, whatever the case is, right? And so today, though, instead of deletion, which we kind of really spent a lot on yesterday, I want to spend a little bit of time on complete. When I started to think about this, I was reminded of the scripture in Proverbs 22. It says, "A wise man see the destruction of the head and make provision for it," right? And so you see the thing that's coming against you, and you are able to take refuge. You see the danger and able to take refuge, right? Whereas simple people, they don't. They just go without thinking. That's what we call being in survival mode, just going day to day, moment by moment, taking on the things that are most urgent, right? Instead of taking the time to count the costs and then deciding what to do, not just based on what's coming in front of you, what is the most urgent, but what is the most necessary, what is the most important. There are some systems that we can create to allow us to complete tasks that we need to complete in our lives as we navigate our lives. And this is really what I want to sit on today. The word systems. I'm really like a word person. Like I like to take a word and then unpack it. I call it a seed, right? The seed of a word. I can take one word, right, and unpack that word, and it just, you know what I'm saying, be a framework that navigates my whole life. You know what I'm saying? Anything that we do, we have some sort of concept, some sort of ideology of why we do what we do. And sometimes, and a lot of the times, we don't need to really break it down to explain it. It just comes in a phrase, a word, a motto, right? And so I love to do that. And so the word for today is systems. As I reflect even in the Bible, which if you use the Bible as a reference or a resource, it's undeniable. Unless you're out of context, of course, then the people just, you just you're totally what's the word? You're totally not seen as I can't think of the word right now. A source that can be trusted, right? But if you use the word in context, I don't think there's no other source or resource, no other book, no other mogul or guru that can, substantiate claims besides the truth of the word. And so I go straight to the Bible when it comes to this idea of systems. I think of Moses, who was having a hard time managing all the people and their issues coming to him and complaining. Jethro, his father-in-law, advised him, bro, like you need to create a system to be able to navigate, because you can't do all of this by yourself. So he created a system where he had judges and people to be in line, right? He broke the people up, divided the people up, and then he had people lead those groups, and they brought their complaints to them. And of course, if they had any issues, those people, the 12, how many it was, they came back and referred to him, creating this classification system right, allowed him, well, it's not necessarily a classification, more of a hierarchy like, rule. And so when he did this, he was able to more effectively deal with the needs and the concerns of the people that were going from Egypt to the promised land. Uh, there's a lot other places where we find these type of systems. Joseph, he had his food system when he became the one that dealt with the economy, where he was placed second in command because he was able to interpret a dream where there would be 7 years of famine and 7 years of um, of plenty. And though in those years of plenty, he created a system where he appointed overseers to collect 1/5 of the harvest. And then he was able to build storehouse to hold the grains and create distribution networks during the famine to distribute people food to people when they needed it. That's dope. That is dope. To be able to have a place. Nehemiah is another good example, who was charged with building up the wall of the people. And when he was doing that, there was a lot of challenges that he had to face. And so he had to create a system in order to complete the mission while dealing with the challenges that came. And so when the wall is obviously for protection. So if you don't have a wall, you're not protected. So people knowing that you don't have a wall, they will come and try to loot you and take advantage. So he actually created systems to where he had a group of people building the wall while a group of people were guarding. He had trumpets playing so that and people looking and watchmen, so that when an attack was imminent, they were able to prepare by alarming everyone. He had rotation systems. People didn't work around the clock. You had groups that worked at a period, and then you had another group that took over, and they did the wall structurally from spot to spot. So they were very systematic when it came to where in the wall did they work, and they kind of just worked their way from one end to the other end. There are a lot of places where, again, we see systems in scripture. Jesus, obviously, best example for anything. He created systems when he sent the disciples 2 by 2, which is a common illustration that people refer to when they think about the disciples being deployed out into ministry. And so, I mean, we can go on and on. I mean, Paul himself, his books, so some of his books were set up in such a way to where it was all about structure, right? There's books in the Bible that he wrote out so that the people that were following the church that he was leading, they knew what the structure of the church was. How do we move forward? How do we minister, right? How do we serve? How do we satisfy the need of people, right? And so I close all of this, so I bring all of this into us now, where we sit right now. What is your system in order to get to a place where you delete the things you don't need, and not to be in a place where you're completing the things that you need to complete? It could be as simple as to-do lists. For me, I started, and I'll see if I can in the chats and on the YouTube description, and also Facebook. I'll make sure to put some links on the systems, if you will, that I use. I started using this actually last year, and it has helped a lot. And I definitely want to even use it even the more this year, especially it being a new year. And it's called the 12-week year. Again, I'll put the details on the links of both chats in order, and on TikTok too. I'll make sure I put it on TikTok. Guess what? TikTok back. Apparently TikTok was gone for a day, and then all of a sudden TikTok is back. I have no idea what the nuances is behind it, the politics behind it all, but 1 second we had it, this second, the next in less than 24 hours, everybody's super stoked that TikTok is back. And we all know what the cost is, right? We just happy that it's back. We have no idea what we signed up for. You know what I'm saying? Why is it back? Did they just really use us as leverage to show us how much power they had? Or not show us, but to show TikTok how much power they had to stop their money. I don't know. I'm not even going to get into the conspiracies about why this whole thing happened. But nonetheless, I will be on TikTok. I will be cutting shorts from or clips from these videos that I'm doing and putting them right there on TikTok. Yeah, we doing that. The beautiful thing, and I know I'm going on a segue right now, but the beautiful thing of being part of the kingdom of God is that we can live in this space and be in it and not of it. Even when it comes to the economy, the economy can run down. Obviously, it'll impact us, right, to some degree. But man, to be able to eat, and I guess I'm not going too far off base here, because it really goes to what we're talking about. A wise man see the destruction ahead and make provision for it. And because I know that the instability of this world, right? When it comes to politics, when it comes to war, when it comes to money, whatever it is, there's only an illusion of stability. At any point in time, chaos can ensue. So if I don't have Jesus in my life, if I am not part of the kingdom of God, I don't know how these people just live. No wonder they're so frantic and so passionate about their stances, because that's all they can stand on. And if what they're standing on is not real, then if your worldview is rocked, if you know what I'm saying, if your stance on politics and if all of that is rocked, then what do you do? Where do you go? How do you navigate? I can't even fathom it mentally. I really can't. But I'm thankful that I am part of a kingdom culture, a kingdom worldview, that even though chaos ensue, I live for a God that came into chaos and said, let there be light. And then there was. So even though darkness comes, even though circumstances ensue, I trust that the God who started a great work in my life, the God who saved me, right, will see my salvation to the end. And I'm in total peace. I'm at total peace, right? It's because he created a way. He created a way. He created a system. Well, really, it's in a person of Jesus Christ, right? Knowing that Jesus is the one that saves us. He is salvation for us. And if you know Jesus, you know salvation and you are saved. So you're saved from your own mind, your own flesh. You're saved from even the opinions of others. You're saved from circumstances and situations that would really kill you, right? Would bring you to a place of depression and anxiety. He is able to relieve you from all of those things. He is a comforter. He is a peacemaker, a way maker. He is a solid rock on which I stand. He is a rock on which I stand. A rock is a structure, a strong structure. And then for us to be successful in whatever God has for us, we have to create structure to keep us grounded, to keep us stable, so that we can operate efficiently, effectively, with productivity, so we can do the thing that God called us to do and live out our lives with purpose, on purpose. Systems allow us to be intentional. System allows us to not look to the left nor to the right, but to pursue the thing that God calls us to do. Systems do that. And so in this 12-year system, this 12-week year is basically breaking down into, it's really simple. And I'm going to say it real quick and then we'll be done for today. So the 12-week year is made in such a way, a lot of times people have goals and they have the yearly goals. The problem with yearly goals is that in the middle of the year, because you got so much year left, there's not an urgency there. So the 12-week year is made in such a way where your goals, they're not short-term goals now. They listen to the difference. A 12-week year goal is a goal that you make for 12 weeks or 3 months, right? Now they can be connected to a more longer term goal, but you really want to make your goal it. You really want to solidify it. And so whatever my goal is in the beginning of January, by the end of March, I would have either completed the goal or be close to completing the goal, right? That 12 weeks allow for a level of urgency. It's far enough to where you can set some smaller goals in order to establish it, but it's short enough to maintain a level of urgency so that you can get things done. And so what I do is I use the 12-week year goal. I have like more of an extended goal, let's say a 2-year goal of certain things that I want to accomplish. And then I break those 2-year goals into 1-year goals. And then again, I don't look at it as short-term goals. However, my 12-week year goal are goals that does help me produce a longer term goal that I have. I know it's the nuance is like, okay, it sounds like it's a short-term goal of your long-term goal. I know, but but I'm saying it in such a way that there is a definite, there is a terminal view when you're thinking of your 12-week year goals, right? You don't see it as a short-term goal that extends to another one. This is it. And I need to accomplish this at this time frame, right? And so you have your 12-week year goal. And then so what I do is then I break that down into shorter goals, right? And so if I have like one of my goals by the end of the 12 week is to run a 5K. In order to run that 5K, I need to start running. You know, I don't know the last time. Actually, I ran a little bit today with my son, but we ran around the block one time and we both was like, okay, we done. Right. And so the next phase is to run consistently, short-term runs or short distance runs rather, right? Until I work my way into my 5K. So I have a whole rundown of what I'm doing week by week by week by week, right? And I have even goals of not even just the running itself, but signing up for the 5K. You know, when am I signing up for the 5K and that kind of thing. So that is one thing that in the works of, I have four goals that I want to do in this 12-week year. And then I have my to-do list. So I have my 12-week goal, then I have my weekly goal, and then every day of the week I have a goal. So one of my friends, he put me on this. I'll probably have him come on the platform one time to talk about it a little bit. Shout out to my boy James St. Louis. He has a lot of things that he's doing, and I definitely want to support. So I'll have some of his information on the link as well, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook. And one of the things that he shared with me in online course that he did was the perfect week. Now you could probably look this up and find it, but he goes and breaks it down himself, the perfect week. And so you take your weekly goals and you spread it throughout the week, and then you have your week systematically, right, set, so you can know what you're doing for the entire week. So you're able to step back and look at your whole week, right? And so, yep, that's that. And then I have my to-do list that I do. My to-do list is dope. I ain't gonna lie. I'll share it with you guys at some point because the to-do list is created in such a way where you gauge yourself every day, right? There's like you can tell how productive you were when you use the to-do list, right? When you kind of give yourself a rating for each thing you have on your to-do list, and by the end of the day, you can see what percentage of success that you were. Yo, this has been the longest live. This is supposed to be a 15-minute live, y'all. 15 minutes in 15 days. And I done used both of my 15 minutes, although I did miss, what was it, Friday that I missed? So I should just count this for both of them. Right? Your boy's working overtime today. Your boy working overtime today. So yeah, man, I am excited about everything that we're doing with Memoir Men. And I just pray that you guys continue to stay tuned as we chop it up on topics that relate to men, looking at these circumstances, reflect on them, be introspective for the sake of progress. I hope that you guys got something that you'll be able to take today. I hope you guys got something that you'll be able to hold on to today and use practically in your life. But until next time, man, I just want to remind you that no man leads alone. God bless you, man. Have an awesome week, man.